Hello, I'm Kont Orlanderson,
And I'm Booger Dagwood.
and
This
this
is
Kont
Kont
and
and
Booger
Booger
at the movies. Hello, and welcome. Today we'll be discussing the 1986 film Raw Deal, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Robert Davi,
Baby?
Sam Wanamaker, and directed by John Irving. Booger,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this film?
I mean, Roddy's awesome, first of all. How can he not be Schwarzenegger here now? If you've been watching the show, you know that me and Cunt here, we love Schwarzenegger. Just because he's in good movies, he has good screen presence, and this movie's no different.
Yeah.
Basically, the plot is he's like a sheriff of some small town or something, and some old friend of his asks him to go undercover in like the mafia in the big city to like get his son out or something like that, or his son got killed or something like that. I can't remember. And so he goes undercover and he like goes gambling and he meets this chick. But basically, it's just him going undercover and killing a bunch of like mafia type dudes.
Oh.
One of the greatest scenes in cinema history happens in this movie. It's about a 5-minute sequence in the middle of the film where he's just looking at his guns and checking them and oiling them and opening them and closing them and fixing them and putting them in a case. And it's literally 5 minutes of him doing that
Yes.
with one of the greatest songs ever. How's it go? I think I read that it was called Going to War because he's going to war basically. And it's fantastic.
Yes.
What do you know about?
I find it fascinating that the film's clearly heavily inspired by James Bond films.
Oh?
And if we look at the history of the 1980s and the increased purchasing power of middle-class white American males, we see many ways in which corporations sell these men the image of the sophisticated international man like James Bond, the expensive watches, the fancy cars, the trophy wives. Because of that, we must read Raw Deal as a satire of the American appropriation of the James Bond mythos.
What about that shootout in that cemetery?
Wonderful shootout, and the car chase at the beginning is extremely exciting.
Oh yeah, where he's chasing the dude on a motorcycle for
Yes,
some reason.
and through the lumberyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's funny because like I wouldn't picture a Schwarzenegger as a small town sheriff. This doesn't fit. In this movie, Red Heat, where he's like Russian and he comes over to New York, it makes a bit more sense, right?
Yes.
But sheriff of like some small like southern town in America.
Although he is not Russian.
No, I'm not about him. He's not even German.
No. He's Australian.
Yeah, so
Yes.
but no, it's a good movie. It's not. I wouldn't put it up there with Terminator or like Predator,
No.
but
Well, certainly not War Commando.
no. But in terms of every other movie ever made, it's at least as good or better than those.
And there's also a very interesting scene of domestic torpor
Huh?
in the beginning when
What do you mean?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is arguing with his wife.
Oh, I forgot you had one.
Yes, we very rarely see these moments of domestic trouble and anxiety and boredom and frustration that are a direct result of the actions and attitudes of the characters in these very masculine films.
I feel like they were gonna set this up to be sort of like a drama, and that's why they had the wife there. And then like 10 minutes in, they're like, "Look, we got Arnold Schwarzenegger here. What are we doing like with a drama? Let's just shoot some stuff." And then they're like, "All right," and then they got a fucking movie.
Hmm.
So
In which case, you must wonder, did they even have a script?
you will need a script here. I'll write a script for you. It's called Badass Daddy Killing People, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, written by Booger Dagwood. Scene opening. Schwarzenegger's got a gun. There's a bunch of dudes out there. He starts shooting them up. Page 58, the end. So yeah, I mean, when you got Schwarzenegger, it's real easy to do stuff. I mean, That's how I always say, like,
Commanding screen presence.
yeah, everyone's always like, like that football coach is really good, or like that basketball coach is really good. That's bullshit. When you have really good players, you don't really need to coach. And that's how I feel about movies. When you have like Schwarzenegger in your film, you don't have to be a good director. Just,
No, indeed
just
you don't.
point the camera
Put
and
the
shoot.
camera there
Yeah.
and get out of the way.
Mm.
Indeed.
So I recommend it. You recommend it.
Most definitely. Yeah.
2 thumbs up. Go see it. Raw deal.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.